Well, hello again everybody. We're back here in the workshop after that trip out in the snow, the impromptu ride in the snow earlier to try this bike out. And although it all seemed to go pretty well, with one exception, and that was the clutch was slipping. In the brief period where I could give it a little bit of a handful, the clutch just slipped all over the place. Clearly not up to handling anywhere near the power that this engine can produce as it was. So obviously I had to have a look. And someone commented on one of my earlier videos when I had the primary cover off, when I was investigating the noise. Someone asked whether there were enough clutch plates in the clutch. And I sort of thought, well, that's not such a funny question, because they did look like they were sort of recessed into the basket a bit. But I thought, well, you know, the guy's name is on it and he must know what he's doing and blah, 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 blah. But obviously, looking into it, I found, and this is going by the Dragonfly online BSA parts list, and also there's another site that's got all the Triumph parts lists online, and this apparently, according to Dragonfly, is the Triumph Type 4 spring clutch, which was used on some of the later A10s, apparently, according to their bump anyway. So I also looked up the Triumph pre-unit twins, the early pre-cush drive clutch centre types, and some interesting things cropped up. First of all, when I took the primary cover off this one, I decided that I'd just take the clutch apart and see what was in there, what condition it was in, and how many of each plate and everything, all that sort of stuff. So I got all the friction and plain plates out, and there were 5 plain plates and 4 friction plates. Obviously, we had a plain plate in first and a plain plate in last to go behind the pressure plate, as you see here now. Now, the diagrams on the parts lists I saw, one of them, you know, when you get the picture of your plain plate and your friction plate and whatever in the parts book, and then you have a look at the list and it tells you how many. Well, the friction plates were listed as 4 or 5, and the plain plates were listed as 5 or 6 in the BSA parts book online anyway. So, and the Triumph, I think the Triumph had 6 plain and 5 friction plates. So I decided that as we had 5 plain and 4 friction, I would see if I could get 5 and 6 in, if you know what I mean, because I had a few spare, admittedly used plates knocking about. I thought I'd see what I could get in there. So I started with a plain plate and added 1 of each, and that brought the stack out too far, and it was overhanging off the plain plate behind the pressure plate was coming too far off the end of the clutch centre, and it would have not engaged, or it would have disengaged with the slots when the clutch pressure plate was lifted. So I decided, I'd seen diagrams with the plain plate in first, and I'd seen diagrams with the friction plate in first. So, well, toss a coin, Paul. I thought, well, right or wrong, let's put a friction plate in first and just build up the stack with alternate plates until we get out near the end and see what will go in and what will fit. And that's what I've ended up with, actually. I've got a friction plate in first, so I've got 5 of them, and I've increased the number of both plates, and I've managed to get, I think, I'm losing the plot here now, but anyway, I've certainly got an extra, I got 5 of each, I think I've got in there, because I've got a friction plate in first, then a plain, friction, plain, that's right. I couldn't get 6 and 5, we had 4 and 5 in there, as it was before I touched anything. 6 and 5 wouldn't fit, that's right, because the plain plate came out too far off the end of the clutch centre. So what I've actually got is a compromise. I've got 5 and 5. Now that's not listed anywhere, but they're in there, and the clutch feels a good bit heavier. Obviously it's packed out further against the springs, and also, although I haven't got enough hands to do it, I've got the machine in gear, and when I pull the clutch in, I can spin the wheel freely with the clutch pressure plate lifted, so there's no drag. I'm sure there'll be far less inclination for it to slip, and obviously the next move will be to try it like that, but I think it's got to be an improvement, and certainly the original 4 and 5 just didn't seem to be enough, so hopefully we're better off than that. But I'm going to put it all back together, put the primary cover on, and the next time I get a chance to have a ride on this, I'm not going to go out in any daft conditions on it again now. I found out what I needed to know to be able to continue the work on it. I don't just go out in snow and rain for fun or to show off or whatever, but I really needed to know how things were, and I got my answers, and I'm back in here in the workshop with the bike on the bike lift, and we'll carry on and put the primary case back together, and then see how it goes next time the conditions are more favourable for going out and giving it a try. But I think we're making progress, and that's the main thing.